This was a recent episode of Hannity where Stephen A. Smith went on Fox News and he talked with his BFF, white supremacist constituent, about the state of Donald Trump. Now, when I first heard this, I had to do a double take because I cannot believe the words that came out this man's mouth. And it's like him and Jason Whitlock would compete with each other to see who would say some of the most foolish things. All right. Now, in case you hadn't heard what he said, I'm going to play a I'll go play a clip, man. Fair use, Stephen A. Fair use. Right? I'm going to play a clip because you got to hear this for yourself. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, man. The stuff that they say on TV. And this plays into a bigger thing, right? With all these self-serving professional bullshit artists in the media. Because politics is not the only arena where you have self-serving professional bullshit artists. You got them in media also. What's up, Tyler Brown? Ted, it's good to see y'all. When we talk about the Stephen A. Smiths, the Jason Whitlocks, the Mark Lamont Hill, the fucking Candace Owens and Joy Reid and Jamel Hill, amongst others, right? The Sage Steels and the Shamika Michelles, and there's a whole list of black folks who don't speak for the black community. The Gayle King, aka Stale King, the preeminent Aunt Jemima Supreme of our generation, Oprah Winfrey. There is a lot of self-serving professional bullshit artists that wear the skin color, but is not of the skin color, if you catch my drift. What's up, y'all? I see y'all up in here. Hit that like button for me. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Right? Now, wait till you hear this, man, because you can't make this stuff up. DJ, spin that shit.
He wasn't lying. He was telling the truth. When you see the law enforcement, the court system, and everything else being exercised against him, it is something that black folks throughout this nation can relate to. With some of
How? See, the difference is this, Stephen A., and it's pretty obvious, right? Because you're pretty clueless, right? So you mean to tell me that black folks are going to jail for decades over crimes they didn't commit? Ain't you? No, you from Hollis, Queens, right? Because that's what you always parade around. But didn't you work for the Philadelphia Inquirer at one point or another when you covered Allen Iverson? There is quite a few cases out in Philadelphia alone where you've had guys go to prison over crimes they didn't commit for decades. But somehow, this white supremacist and Donald Trump, right, who took out an op-ed in about the Central Park Five in one of the New York newspapers, right, saying that the Central Park Five should be executed over an alleged rape that didn't happen. But Trump and black folks have a similar situation when it comes to the law. Are you fucking kidding? You really can't be this stupid. ESPN paying you all this kind of money for you to say dumb shit? Because I would like to say yes. ESPN is paying you tens of millions of dollars every day for you to say dumb shit. You can't possibly think this is true. Anybody with any kind of common sense that's higher than their shoe size cannot possibly think that the situation Donald Trump is going through when it comes to his legal situation versus what black folks have when it comes to their legal situation, it cannot nearly be one and the same. It can't be any more different. So let me get this straight. Trump is out here witness tampering. He out here committing witness intimidation. He's out here committing jury intimidation because you got that stupid idiot Jesse Waters on goddamn Fox News. If there's one person I want to choke out next to Barney, the goddamn purple dinosaur, is that bastard. He's a slimy scumbag, and that's who you want to rub elbows with, Stephen A. You just look at that motherfucking idiot in Jesse Waters, and you can see that he's not more than a goddamn weasel. I don't know about your number 10. I don't know about you as a journalist, Jesse Waters. I almost called you Jesse Lee Peterson. He a goddamn coon too, who likes sucking dick behind the scenes. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'll get on, Gay Reverend in another video. We're going to talk about this motherfucker, Stephen A. Smith, right here. You are a, Lord have mercy. I'm telling you, listening to you, I would lose IQ points. So how in the devil could Trump's legal issues versus black people's legal issues be one and the same when it's clearly not? So Trump is out here witness tampering, witness intimidating, jury intimidating. He's out here blatantly violating the gag order. But he ain't in jail yet. Meanwhile, black people can walk down the street. Some white supremacists can just point him out of a crowd, and that person be found guilty in the kangaroo court, and he's doing decades in prison. Forget about DNA evidence. Forget about corroborating testimony. White supremacists could just say that, yeah, that person did it, and that's good enough for the legal system to run its course on that black man or that black woman. There's a case out in Kansas City right now where there's a prosecutor who's gotten disbarred for helping a corrupt cop place charges on black folks after that corrupt cop was going out raping women and all that. He was on there raping black women. Right? So I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to pull up the article. Because see, it's easy to debunk clowns like Stephen A. Smith, right? It's easy. A caveman can do it. It's so easy that a caveman can do it. We're going to come back to this. But I want to share this with y'all. Look at this. A prosecutor who framed an innocent man surrenders law license will soon be disbarred. This woman here goes by the name of Tara Moorhead. She was a federal prosecutor. She helped the Kansas City police detective Roger Goblowski frame an innocent man who spent 23 years in prison. And who is this man that spent 23 years in prison over a crime he didn't commit? Who is this man, you say? Well, he just happened to be black. Lamonte McIntyre, or Lamont McIntyre. That's his name, Lamont McIntyre. Come back to that screen. Don't worry, we're going back to that. The corrupt cop placed this man, along with that prosecutor, placed this man in jail for 23 years out in Kansas City. So, Stephen A., how in the devil is what Trump going to do versus what this man went through amongst a host of others? Would it be about Vincent Simmons? Would it be about what's that guy's name? He's out in he was out. There's two men I did a story on out in Philadelphia. But one guy did 24 years in prison, another guy did 34 years in prison over crimes they didn't commit. So how in the fuck could what these black men going through versus what Trump going through is one and the same, Stephen A? You sound dumb as fuck! Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I guess you want to appeal to a certain base that want to be fed their proverbial red meat, like this whole narrative that racism don't exist in America. This is the man who a corrupt cop and a corrupt prosecutor put away in prison for 23 years over a crime he didn't commit. Lamont McIntyre stepped into the sunshine as a free man for the first time in 23 years on October 13, 2017. An innocent man, he spent more than half his life in prison, but his release was much more about how he been set up for a double murder he didn't commit. 2 years after McIntyre's release, a federal grand jury began investigating the many claims his case brought to court. Amid this September, 5 years later, the FBI agents arrested one of the men who helped him sent to prison, former Kansas City police detective Roger Goblowski. Goblowski is awaiting trial on 6 counts of depriving 2 women of their civil rights by sexually assaulting and kidnapping them. And guess what? Those women happen to be black. This is the officer who orchestrated this sham. This is the officer that orchestrated this sham. Now, without going into much detail, because I'm going to talk about this one in another video. Let's go back. Let's go back to the lady. This is the lady who helped the police detective put an innocent black man away for 23 fucking years. But let Stephen A. tell it, hey, what Trump going to do versus what Lamont McIntyre is going through is one and the same. Now, I'm going to talk about this in a later video. I'm going to expand further about this, right? But I wanted to give you an example of the bullshit that come out of Stephen A. Smith's mouth and why and how it is so ridiculous of what he said. Now, let's go back to the clip. Let's go back to that goddamn on George Jefferson stunt double, Stephen A. Smith. Now, let's go back to the clip. We're going to go back. DJ, spin that shit.
Folks find him relatable because what he's going through is similar to what Black Americans have gone through. He wasn't lying. He was telling the truth. When you see the law enforcement, the court system, and everything else being exercised against him, it is something that black folks throughout this nation can relate to. As much as people may have been abhorred by Donald Trump's statement weeks ago, talking about how black folks, he's hearing that black folks find him relatable because what he's going through is similar to what black Americans have gone through. He wasn't lying. He was telling the truth. When you see the law enforcement, the court system, and everything else being exercised against him, it is something that black folks throughout this nation can relate to with some of our historic, iconic figures. We've seen that happen throughout society. So no matter what race, what ethnicity you may emanate from, we relate to you when you're suffering like that because we know we have. And that's what he articulated.
Needless to say, people were in a tizzy over that. And why were they in a tizzy over that exactly? Because it's being portrayed and misconstrued that I'm saying that Trump's plight relates to black people. Well, it's easy to take things out of context, which is why I love having my own platform.
You said it, you idiot! What the fuck? Ain't nobody take that out of context. You said it.
So I can remedy and correct some of the foolhardiness that's put out there. First things first, Sean Hannity asked me the question about Trump gaining traction with the black vote and how whether it's a couple of points or 3 points or 4 points, that it could end up tilting the election in his favor. That's up.
Okay, so first and foremost, no, the black vote is not being tipped in Trump's favor. What has Trump done for black folks, huh? What has he done? Let's just keep this 100. Is Donald Trump out here advocating for reparations for black folks? Is Donald Trump out here, advocating for a crime bill for black folks, huh? And I'm not gonna, yeah, he might have let some people out of prison, even though he let like people like that cockroach Kodak Black or whatever like that. And yeah, he let some black folks out of prison, but I'm gonna let that one off throw me off the scent of how racist this man is. No, I'm not gonna let that throw me off the scent. He's not getting no black vote by selling Trump shoes and trying to sell a Bible and all that. What billionaire you know is doing that? What billionaire you know out here selling shoes with an American flag that he violate the flag code off of, and then he violate the flag code again by putting a goddamn Bible on, by putting a flag on the Bible? Ain't that supposed to be separation of church and state? You dumb. You don't speak for us, Stephen A. What's up, Mike Lewis? Josh Johnson, I want him to shoot himself another place, but I'm not going to go that deep.
It's upcoming this November. Yes, he's the presumptive GOP nominee. Yes, he's on trial for a hush money case to a porn star. Yes.
What black folks you know paying money to a porn star? Huh? How can that be relatable? What black folk you know paying money to a porn star? If anything, the black folks that watches porn, right? We not paying no porn star. We jacking off somewhere. We gonna put our deposits on the bed sheet, or on a t-shirt, or on a towel. Hell, maybe we'll put our deposits in the toilet. We not paying off no fucking porn star. Damn sure not paying her no $130,000. What black folk you know doing that? What black folk you know paying porn star $130,000? Huh, Stephen A? Huh? Allegedly. Right? Gotta say allegedly. Let's continue with the diarrhea of the mouth.
Yes, he recently lost a civil suit for $454 million, where he had to pay about $175 million or something like that up front, okay? Yes, the man has had 4 indictments against him, 91 counts against him. Still running, though.
Yeah, what black folk you know that can have all these indictments and all these charges against him, and he can still run for president? What black folk you know doing that, Stephen A? Yes, Ted, porn is free to watch in 2024. We not paying no porn star no $130,000. When porn is free to watch in 2024, we not paying no porn star no $130,000. So let me get this straight, right? Because you say people black, all these black folks out here taking things out of context. So let me get this straight, right? Let me make sure 2 + 2 = 4 in this scenario, right? So, I'm just asking the question. What black folk you know can have all these indictments against them, all these charges against them, and they can still run for president of the United States? Huh? What black folk you know doing that? So how the fuck can be what Trump going to do versus what we going through is relatable? He can still go on TV, spew all these lies, talk about how he's being a victim when he's the victimizer, right? Meanwhile, black folks get crimes projected onto them and they go into prison. What black folks you know can have indictments against them and can still run around here in today's society? For those of you who don't know what an indictment is, they've been formally charged by a grand jury. That's an indictment. All right. So what black person you know can run around here with all these indictments and have all these indictments on their name and still run for president, huh? Make that make sense. You got to unclog the pipeline on that one because I don't know. I tried to use Drano and the pipe is still clogged. So you got to unclog the pipeline for me on that one, huh? Make it make sense. Yeah, unless your name is Zion Williamson when he paying off goddamn on Mariah Mills. Yeah, that's the only motherfucker I know that's out here, paying porn stars and all that. Oh no, I take that back. DeAndre Ayton out here paying porn stars, but they're not paying them hush money though. And they damn sure ain't doing it with campaign funds. So what black person you know is using campaign finance to pay off porn stars? At least with the NBA players, they're paying off porn stars. They're doing it with their own money. They put them on first-class flights, getting them first class treatment at the Hilton or whatever hotel they got them at. Eating five-star things off the menu at whatever restaurant they got them at. They're doing it with their own money. They're not right here running for political office and using campaign finance to do it with. So how can Donald Trump's plight versus the black community's plight be one and the same? This is why you have no credibility with the black community. This is why people like me and Too Raw and LBZ and others don't take you seriously, Stephen A. You sound dumb. You sound dumb. Then you want to sit up here and talk down on us like we have a second-rate intellect compared to yours. Like you the end all be all, everything intellectual, right? Like you the guy that if we don't take 1% of your knowledge, then we are so obsolete as a race. The fuck out of here, dude. You clown. You a buffoon. You a sucker. That's why you run your ass on goddamn Sean Hannity. And Sean Hannity ain't nothing but a goddamn old white supremacist. So let's listen to a little bit more because I'm not trying to hold you up any longer than I want to or I have to. I just want to get the points out there and then get the fuck out of here. DJ, spin that shit.
Still a presumptive GOP nominee, though. And by the way, as I pointed out, has gained traction and is ahead of the incumbent President Joe Biden in at least 5 polls. Not all of the polls, but at least 5 polls have Trump ahead.
Now, you got to put those polls into context, for one, okay? You got to put those polls into context. So when they talk about, oh, well, no, he's ahead in 5 of them, not all of them, that just tells you right there that the election is going to be very close. Not a whole lot of people going to vote, including yours truly, because I sure as hell ain't voting. For what? I'll vote in the local election when there's referendums and and other provisions within the local community and local county I live in that has a greater impact on what I have going on in the local community versus the national election. All right. I'm not voting in the national election unless there's a hate crime bill, unless there's reparations, unless there's qualified immunity being ended. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? So you sitting up here talking about people taking things out of context. You said it. The fuck?
Now, before I go a bit further, getting into us as black people, because we know how we can be now.
Yeah, we know how you can be too, motherfucker. You like talking down on us.
Okay? Not all, not some of us, but I'm just talking about some of us from our community. We know how the hell we could be. We're going to have that conversation in just a second. But before I get to that, I love how y'all pick apart me on Hannity. I was on Cuomo on News Nation an hour earlier.
So?
I ain't hear nothing about that.
So?
I was on MSNBC at least twice over the last month. I ain't hear nothing about that.
So?
I was on CNN. Abby Phillips, Laura Coates, several times.
Here we go. Here we go. When he tried to skirt his way out that bullshit, he go ahead name dropping other people who don't speak for us neither. Abby Phillips, working for CNN. What the fuck that supposed to do? Huh? Is that supposed to absolve you from the bullshit you say on TV every day and twice on Sunday and 3 times on social media? You name drop Abby Phillips. Okay, Abby Phillips, she look good. I could do, she can do something for some money with me or whatever like that. But come on now, Abby Phillips? You think Abby Phillips absolves you for all the bullshit you say? You are a bigger clown than I give you. Oh, Lord have mercy. Look, I'm not going to subject you to no more of this shit. I'm just not. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. You guys mean too much to me for me to subject you to any more of that. Oh, my Lord. So I'm going to ask you again, Stephen A. I'm going to ask you again. Donald Trump can run around here and talk about how he a victim of all this, of everything that's going on with him, right? Now, mind you, recently, probably like a year ago, less than a year ago, he buried his wife, Ivanka, at one of his golf courses out in New Jersey so he can get a tax break. Now, what black person you know can do that? Huh? What black person you know do that? If Donald Trump and the black community had the same kind of plight going on, what black person you know would bury their wife at one of their golf courses? You know anybody black that owns a golf course? I don't know anybody black that owns a golf course. You know anybody black that owns a golf course? And then they take one of their ex-wives and bury them in the first hole at one of their golf courses so you get a tax break. But Trump and this black community have a similar plight, right? He being persecuted right now. Trump is. Now, mind you, Trump going around here spitting all this disinformation and all that. When I think of Donald Trump, I think of opposite day, right? Don't believe what he said, but believe the total opposite. And what truth that came out this man's mouth? Well, all the fraud, all these people coming out there saying, now mind you, the people that saying this stuff been around Trump. It's not like some secondhand knowledge. It's not like some third-hand knowledge. The people that saying this stuff about Trump has been around him. So obviously there gotta be some truth to it. But yet, you sitting up here talking about, oh man, Trump and the black community have a similar plight. Since when? Since when? What? Like I'm gonna ask you again. What black person you know can bury their wife at the first hole of a golf course so they get a tax break? Huh? The jury wants to know. Trump don't even this motherfucker is whiter than a jar of Hellmann's, for crying out loud. But I swear to God, Stephen A., you never cease to amaze me. You and Jason Whitlock will compete on a daily basis to see who will be the bigger coon out here in the media. Right. You're right about that, Mike Lewis. You're absolutely right about that. People look like 45, been around 45, trying to see where they can get from hanging around 45 and all that. You got these lawyers out here trying to attach themselves to this con man so they can raise their profile and all that. All this buffoonery this man has engaged himself in, but yet, let this clown tell it. Let this ass clown Stephen A. tell it. He and Donald Trump and the black community have similar things in common when it comes to the legal system. When that can't be farther from the truth. It can't be farther from the truth. And this is the blatant disinformation that gets spewed out here in the media. You want to know what fake news is? This is the epitome of fake news. This is fake news. This is why my channel exists, to counteract these counterfeit narratives that they're putting out here in the atmosphere. If you want to know why I have a YouTube channel, is to counteract shit like this. So once again, Stephen A., you do not speak for the black community. You have no credibility. None. You have absolutely no credibility within the black community for you to call yourself trying to wag your finger at us like we some second-rate citizens or whatever like that. You think going on BSNBC and Cuomo, name dropping Abby Phillips and Joy Reid, whoever else you want to name drop that might happen to be black in the white media, is going to give you credibility? Get the fuck out of here. We don't give them no credibility neither. You think Joy Reid got credibility? You think Tiffany Cross got credibility? You think goddamn Andrew Gillum, who like being found in a hotel room bucket naked with dookie stains and vomit stains and bucket naked with drugs and the gay dude, you think he got credibility? You think Angela Rye got credibility? What about that 3-chain butterball basting bastard and Roland Martin who looked like his clothes look like he robbed Bed Bath & Beyond? That's why Bed Bath & Beyond out of business right now. You think he got credibility? None of those self-serving professional bullshit artists that you either name drop or you bring in your little echo chamber got credibility within the black community. They just don't. within the black grassroots, them clowns don't got no credibility because they are sellouts, just like you. I talked about how Jason Whitlock will sell you out for a 2-piece drumstick with coleslaw, a biscuit, and a Diet Coke. But I don't like Jason Whitlock. Good for you. Let the cool Civil War commence. Anyway, it's just a thought. Maybe you had a whole different outlook on life, right? I'm not the end all be all for information. If you don't believe what I say, then, matter of fact, I encourage you not to believe what I say. I encourage you to do the research yourself, and then you formulate your opinion. That's what I encourage you to do. I do not encourage you to just blindly believe anything I say because I might be wrong. But then again, I'm not wrong when it comes to this ass wipe. He's had a history. He's had more than enough of a history about this guy. Hey man, you absolutely right about that, Mike Lewis. Somebody, Jason Whitlock, run him. That motherfucker will coon for free. He ain't even gotta have a 2-piece drumstick. He will coon for free. Because that's how much of a broken, sunken place he's in. But anyway, once again, it's just a thought. You guys let me know what y'all think about this particular story, right? You're not subscribed to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and share these videos on your social media platforms. If you feel like you're in a giving mood, where you at? Oh yeah. If you feel like you're in a giving mood, there's my Cash App, there's the PayPal. Any and all donations are accepted and appreciated. And I thank y'all for tuning in. Last but definitely not least, shouts out to the LDBC, Lions Den basketball community. This your man. Scream at me. Ho!